All right, family. Black Power. Black Power is the true power with General Sarasun said he kicked back. Get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. We got a powerful one today. We're going to be talking about the Kushite kings of Mesopotamia. This is very significant that we deal with this. This is showing that many of those so-called prophets and that come up out of the Bible lived in Kushite, Ethiopian nations, and this showing direct lineage, of the Bible, just in history in general, of these areas belonging to black people. But we'll look at it as outsiders in our own lineage. But we gonna tighten that up today. But before we get started, make sure you get over there to my Patreon. Over 500 exclusive live streams. You already know off the chain. We got that jump off with Hitler in ancient Egypt. We got the Shabaka stone. What else we got? Oh yeah, we got that Solomon and Melchizedek hidden connection to ancient Kemet. I want y'all over there to get that work. Also, KingSeti.com online marketplace, official General SETI products, DVDs, t-shirts, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry. You can also become a member right here at my YouTube page, YouTube channel, General SETI, Sarasun SETI. Unlock access to exclusive material right here on my YouTube page. And make sure you get a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends. Comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because you gonna get banned. All right, family, here we go. So we're gonna be dealing with three main Kushite kings of Mesopotamia. Nobody talks about. Some of them do, but they don't make the connection. They don't want to make the connection. We talking about first and foremost Nimrod. First and foremost Nimrod, who is in the Bible, who is referred to as the son of Cush. I got it right here. Let me get it right here. We talking about who founded Babylon, founded Chaldea, Assyria, Akkad, Ur-Akkad, all of that belongs to the legendary Nimrod, who is the son of Ethiopia. In the Bible, Ethiopia is Sudan. And I want y'all to, and so it says 10, 8, 9, or Genesis 10, verse 8 and 9 states plainly that Nimrod was the son of Cush, Ethiopia. Now, Ethiopia or the ancients is Sudan. You see, we speak in Nubia, okay? And that got to be spoken of with all sincerity. And so Cush was the son of Ham, one of Noah's three sons. And so that's what it said. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. Genesis 10:8. So it's speaking that how these Cushites were the founders of great empires, while the so-called the Hebrews and the Semitics and Japheth and all the other ones, they was still nomads walking around, with sandals on their feet. And, they didn't have no nations. They didn't have none of that. They didn't have no skills other than goat herding. While the Hamites, the Africans, the Cushites, the Egyptians, the Canaanites, the Phoenicians, the Puntites, and they were into nationhood, while the vagabonds was outside still, with tents and goats. So, when you notice the one thing about the Bible, they always, if you African, you gonna be cursed. That's just all it is to it. So you can almost, and mostly when it dealing with a curse, now they put some curses on the Israelites themselves. But the majority, when you dealing with the majority of curses, man, the Hamitic bloodline, which is the African bloodline, is got a vast majority of the curses in the Bible. Starting with Nimrod, starting with Ham. You can't even get out of Genesis. You can't even get out of you. They don't even speak about Japheth. They don't say nothing about Japheth. The other all the curses is on the Hamites, the Africans. Ham meaning calm, meaning black. You feel me? Matter of fact, let me go and get that in there because a lot of y'all ain't. Y'all need. We need to bring that up. We in the house. Yeah, we in the house. We working out today early, fam. Let me put this in here so you can get it. Let me put this in here so you can get it. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, let me take that on that. What does it say? Or charm. That's what we just put up there. If you didn't see the last one with chomper. You see with chomper. And so you see is also charm. CHAM. Didn't I tell you that? This is the good European biblical dictionary. Y'all know if y'all don't see it, being validated, by some form of a Caucasian, you ain't gonna accept it. You see, you ain't gonna accept it. So you got the toasters, and so we had to help you along the way. You know what I'm saying? We had to help you along the way. So you see or charm, burnt, swarthy, black. You see, so when we talk about chomper over in and charm, and you got to understand, we're gonna be dealing with a lot of terminologies throughout the ancient world where they use that terminology. The youngest son of Noah, you see, one day when Noah had drank wine, Ham perceived his parent lying in his tent with his person unexposed. So Noah, they talking about Noah then fell out in his tent, then got drunk. He was on that wine too strong, and he then fell out in the tent. And so Ham come in by mistake and see Noah, and so and they say Ham ridiculed him, which he should have. In the hell, you supposed to be a prophet of God, and you drunk, laid out naked. You understand what I'm saying? You should have more respect for yourself and for God to be doing something like that. So you should have been ridiculed. But Noah, when he awoke, was informed by his snitching sons, other sons, who was jealous of Ham, Shem and Japheth. They went in there and told Noah that Ham laughed at him, probably say you drunk old man or something. And they went in there and told Noah, and Noah cursed, but didn't curse Ham particularly, cursed one of his sons that ain't even born yet. You understand? Hey, he didn't even know he was gonna have a son named Canaan. He said, "Curse be Canaan." How you know I'm on there? Well, what if he don't name none of his sons Canaan? And I don't know what would make Ham name any of his children Canaan. And the man just said, "Curse be Canaan." Well, I ain't naming none of my children Canaan, so that's just a curse that you just wasted your time with that one. A servant of servants shall he be to his brethren. And so that just show you how wicked, some of this is, where Noah, who's actually the grandfather of Canaan, that he was in, he would curse one of his grandchildren that had not even been born yet to be in servitude. Instead of just putting it on Ham, he put it on his own grandson, Canaan. And it said, a slave of slaves, a servant of servants shall he be to his own brethren. And what kind of brothers would enslave their own nephews? And you know what I'm saying? Don't make sense to me. But anyway, Ham was the father of Cush, Mizraim, Punt, and Canaan. And it is believed that he had Africa for his inheritance, and that he peopled it, but he dwelt in Egypt. Africa is called the land of Ham in several places of Psalms. Okay, so we had to put that up there. So now what's crazy is, and now that I put this up here, this is gonna speak. Where that image at? Did I put that image in there? Let me get it in here. Of Hammurabi. See, people don't. Now let's cap back into Hammurabi, the lawgiver of the Mesopotamians. He is the most venerated of all they kings. Let me get him in here. Hammurabi. Yeah, let me get old Hammurabi in there. Okay, let me take that one out. Let me get Hammurabi. He's actually right over there. I don't got to get him in there. He's actually right there to the left. That's how you see they done knocked his nose off. You know, they over there, lips and everything else. You know, they didn't went over there and tampered with his. Now, Hammurabi is very significant because he the one brought the laws. Wait a minute. He what we call the code of Hammurabi. Okay, one of the earliest surviving written law codes. You see, about a 282 laws carved in stone, covers theft and property, trade and wages, marriage and family, slavery, justice and punishment. He was the king of Babylon. So immediately we going back to Nimrod. So Nimrod was a Hamite. You see, that's why we got to be. And so when you to get the understanding of the ancient vocabulary, that way when you start, once you begin to math, you gonna see that as you go off into history, man, so many of these words gonna unlock an understanding for you. If you don't have that, you just gonna be reading for the sake of reading. You ain't gonna be reading for understanding. You're gonna be reading for what people want you to believe, but you're not gonna get the true understanding of this. You see, so Ham, we didn't already tap right there into Ham. I can go deeper, but I'm not gonna go deeper with his name because that's gonna take me in a whole different direction. But Mohammed. You see, a lot of that come out of that. You see the Rabbi, Arabi and Muhammad, and Muhammad's name is also Ham. See, they didn't move some of them letters and words around. So if you take the Mu in Hammurabi's name and you put it first in front of Ham, you'll get Muhammarabi. You see, and so we understanding that the root, they'd taken some of the root of that Africanness, and that's the foundation of how they established what Islam and Judaism. Abraham, do you hear that? Abraham, he was Abram, but then when he was initiated by Melchizedek, he became Abraham. He was initiated. When he met Melchizedek, he was Abram. He wasn't no Abraham. He was Abram at that time. But after he was initiated by Melchizedek, then God gave him the name of what? Abraham. So you got the Hammurabi, the Muhammad, Abraham, Ham. And so when you go in, you understand in the Bible says that the root of Ham is synonymous with Egypt. That was his home. Even though the other nations were, Cush and Canaan, and those were his other children. They were also Hamites. But Ham, particularly, his throne was in Egypt. Okay, so it's synonymous. So when you hear Ham, it's synonymous with Egypt. You see, and once you understand that, that's tapping in. That letting you know what the foundation of this knowledge and where it come from. So Hammurabi, Hammurabi was the king of Babylon, 1792, 1750 BCE. He ruled during the old Babylon period, Babylonian period. That means that's that Kushite. You see, transformed Babylon, in a lot of ways, and they was tightening up all through there, at around that time, because that's the middle kingdom of ancient Egypt. So they tightening up all through the area. There was some mishaps, but family getting it together. The Babylonian, the Egyptian, the Canaanite, they all coming together, say, yeah, it's time for us to go on put it together like we need to get some understanding and get these vagabonds up out of here. And let's get some control over the lands, a little more control. So we, these vagabonds, we can keep these vagabonds out of here. So Hammurabi, again, the code of Hammurabi, 282 laws, and say even one of his laws was an eye for an eye. You see, Hammurabi laid it down, say eye for eye. The laws were meant to show that the king ruled by divine justice, not personal whim. So he was in. So not only did he rule Babylonia, he also ruled parts of Assyria. So that's up in the north. So he had a mighty hand. He had a mighty hand as far as his rulership, And so key cities: Babylon, Larsha, Ison, Ishnuna, okay, and Mari. Okay, these are particular cities that he had his hand on as far as being cities under his rule. Now another ruler all the way to the right is CUSHAN-RISHATHAIM, and a lot of people don't know about CUSHAN-RISHATHAIM, which was king of Mesopotamia, and this is in the Bible. Now Hammurabi didn't make it into the Bible, but CUSHAN-RISHATHAIM did, and you can look that king up. He was like the first ruler, first enslaver. Appreciate family. We got a membership. Okay, appreciate y'all. Yeah, member for 23 months. That's well appreciated. You feel me? We got CUSHAN-RISHATHAIM. Now you can read him, and he's the first king who conquered the Israelites by the hand of God. God said, "Go on in there and put hands on them." So he sent CUSHAN-RISHATHAIM, and I think he had control over Israel. And you already see the cushion. You already see the cushion, and they always try to put some evil on him. Say his name means some evil. I say, oh, here we go. They can't. Anytime they see Cush, they got to put something evil on him. So you see, CUSHAN-RISHATHAIM is a biblical foreign king, not an Israelite, who briefly ruled over Israel as a conqueror. You see, he appears in Judges, if you want to look him up, Judges 3:7-11, the first oppressor of Israel in the period of the Judges. So here it is, Cushan. So and people keep talking about the Israelites is not African. And they've been all throughout the Bible, all they did was live amongst, marry, have children with the Africans. Yet and still, you got some I don't know, confused peoples out here that say that the Israelites are not African, or man, you are confused, and you can't listen to nobody like that, especially when you know the book. Okay, especially when you know the book. So he appears he also appears Judges 3:8. Listen to here. It says, therefore the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hand of CUSHAN-RISHATHAIM, king of Mesopotamia, and the children of Israel served CUSHAN-RISHATHAIM 8 years. 8 years. So he was under the rule of them for 8 years. You feel me? And so that's very significant. This is Mesopotamia. So they're just showing you from Nimrod to Hammurabi. And what's very significant about this is that you talking about Abraham coming out of Ur, Chaldea. This is supposedly where the Israelite, because Abraham is the father. So if he come out of there, there's no doubt. And then they leave Mesopotamia. Abraham go into go into Canaan, then he goes into Egypt, then Joseph, Jacob, Moses, Jesus, and so on and so forth, all living amongst the Hamites, the African, okay, getting knowledge and wisdom, and then coming out rewriting the information and calling it Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. We got to wake up today, family. So we wanted to highlight three major Kushite kings and the founder of Mesopotamia. He is the founder. He's the father who is a Kushite, who is also nephew, according to the Bible, nephew of ancient Egypt. Nimrod is and so which means that no way that Mesopotamia is as old as Egypt. If people know the chronology of the Bible, they should have been could count that the chronology that Sumeria, Mesopotamia came after Egypt. Okay, it came after. You can't put the nephew before the uncle. You feel what I'm saying? But anyway, and also Hammurabi, Black Murabi. You see Ham being another a terminology for ancient Egypt, and CUSHAN-RISHATHAIM. Look it up. Do more research. And the next time somebody tell you, say, once you start understanding that when it comes to ancient Arabia and Mohammed, the so-called Arab, and then the so-called Jew, and you'll know that all the lands that they claim they came from was originally African Kushite lands. I get with y'all in a minute, family. Make sure y'all get over there to Patreon, get that work. We got the Shabaka Stone over there. We got over 500 exclusive live stream. There's no way you can lose. Check it out, family. See you in a minute. Arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that Wicked Beast Daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation. Boom. Black power.